In cardiac arrest, time matters. You'll notice that previous slide said, if an AED is placed on a patient within 3 to 5 minutes, time is the crucial thing. And this is why time matters, because somebody who's in cardiac arrest, that electrical problem of their heart is causing absolute chaos. The electrical impulses are jumping around the place. The heart is not being told how to beat. Those electrical impulses should be telling the heart how to beat and pump blood around the body. Instead, chaos is happening. That's not a normal heart rhythm. And over time, that electrical rhythm there will start to deteriorate. It gets narrower and narrower and will eventually become what we call flatline, or what our friends call asystole. And when a patient gets into that asystolic state, or that flatline state, there's no longer any electrical activity going on inside the heart, which is really important to understand, because the AED will only be able to restart that patient's heart whilst there is some electrical activity going on. And I'll illustrate this. This is the ECG strip from the AED that saved my life. Incredible device. Not only can it save your life, but it can print out the data that smarter people than me can take away and learn from. But what I can see on this, up the very top there, it's very small, but it says pads on. It's the second thing that's written on that very top line. It says pads on. That's where the pads were placed on my chest, and the AED started to do its work. It analysed my heart rhythm. And it said, oh, this guy, that's not a normal heart rhythm. That's what we call ventricular fibrillation. This guy needs to be shocked. So within, 15 seconds? Within 15 seconds, that first shock is delivered about halfway through the second line there. You can see that big spike, that's the shock from the defib. And then after a little bit, my heart goes back into VF. I'm still not in a normal rhythm. But have a look at how broad that VF rhythm is again. It's broad. Before that, look how narrow it is, drifting towards what they call asystole. If I had have got to asystole, the defib would not have shocked me, and it would have been up to our friends' colleagues in the other state over there in New South Wales to do their damnedest to get me back. Now, that broad VF continues, and there's 2 pages of boring VF that I've taken out of there. But have a look down, the second last strip on the right-hand side, it's broad VF up until about the second last border thing. I don't know what you call that. What do you call that thing there? The line. It starts to go fine again. You'll see how fine it gets. And then on the last line, it gets very, very fine. And luckily, the 2-minute cycle of the AED had done its thing, and it's read my heart rhythm again and said, okay, let's shock him again. And bang, that was the shock that got me back, just as the paramedics were arriving. It made their job a lot easier. They didn't have to get out their drugs, their adrenaline and whatever else they have to use. They didn't have to work hard because my heart was beating on its own again. And that is the incredible thing about these devices when put into the hands of lay people, combined with the ability to do CPR, which helps maintain that VF rhythm. It helps keep the heart shockable. And the AED can do its job. And then our friends, the more qualified friends, can come along and do their job and play their part in the chain.